Hi everyone, this is Marina with How I Got Here, and I'm here with my girl, Kristy Ngugen. She is, I guess we could say one of my good, I don't even know, I guess friends in terms of entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have worked together for a while, for probably about 2 years, maybe, or a year.
I think I was there for less than a year.
Okay, you were smarter than me. Got stuck for 3 years. So we did sales together, and I'm so happy that we reconnected again. I mean, we always talk, but you know how it is. Everybody has a life. We always get busy, but we met at again a sales company, and we have gone through door-to-door concept for quite a while. It has changed our perspective, allowed us to be a lot more independent, and basically just kind of gave us that entrepreneur mentality, because the whole point of the company was to become an entrepreneur. And today, Kristy, she has decided to take a leap of faith and quit her 9 to 5 boring, typical, everyday
behind a computer
that was
desk.
right, that was created for us little people, right? For us to just be in this matrix where you just get up every day and you just, I guess, don't live a life for yourself. But again, my channel, for those of you who don't know, it's about inspiration. It's about overcoming something that's been in your mind for a while, overcoming that something that's been bothering you for a while. It could be anything. And I know that taking a leap of faith is actually not easy because of so many programmed mindsets that everybody has. Oh, but what if, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? So tell us a little bit about, or a lot, actually, I'm curious. Tell us, what did you do before you began doing your business? And of course, you're going to introduce it yourself because it's your baby.
Yeah.
And why?
So, like Marina said, out of college, I had moved to New York and we worked together at this door-to-door sales company. And just like she said, it really forced you, right, to hustle, to be in front of people, to get that sale, to push yourself to be uncomfortable. And I, after that, I kind of transitioned out of it because of financial reasons. And so I worked at an office job. I was working at a shoe company doing e-commerce. And then I was in marketing, and then I was in product development and research. And I was all over the place because I was just trying to chase that paycheck. I was just trying to make a living, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And so the last company that I worked for, I really enjoyed working with the people, but the actual work itself wasn't fulfilling. And during COVID, we were a team of like 6 or 7. And then, because of financial reasons, a lot of companies experienced this where they had to downsize. And so a lot of people in my department was furloughed, and it was down to 2. And I eventually, even though I was very fortunate enough to work from home, it was still, I was working like 10, 12 hours a day. And I was overworked and underappreciated, during that time. No one said thank you for anything. And to me, something like that is just so simple, to show appreciation. It doesn't cost you anything. But
exactly,
after a period of time, I was just like, screw this. If not now, then when? Right? If I don't do this now, then when am I going to do this? When am I going to take this leap of faith? And so I had actually worked for a cannabis company part-time coming out of college. It was just by coincidence that I met someone, and he was like, hey, you're a good fit for what we're doing. And I had always been a cannabis consumer, and cannabis is what helped me with my anxiety, with my depression, with my panic disorder. During the time that I thought that I was so in the dark, I found a way out through plant medicine. And so there were moments in time in my life so far that cannabis has been there for me. And so I was just like, okay, I don't want to work for someone else anymore. Like, what am I going to do? And I had stumbled upon this program like a year or two back. And it's a coaching program, but specifically with cannabis coaching. And so I took the leap of faith and I was like, I quit my 9-to-5 job and I was like, I'm going to pursue this because I understood how it greatly impacted my life, right? Instead of being on all of these pharmaceutical medicines, I was able to find a way to naturally heal myself. And what a powerful thing it is to be able to help other people do the same, right?
Exactly.
And so what I am is I'm a cannabis health and wellness coach. I'm also partially just a life coach. I guide people through using plant medicine to incorporate it into their daily lives to help with anxiety, depression, trauma, pain, whatever it is. And I also work with them in terms of, resetting your mindset, how the way that you think about yourself and the way that you think about the world, and helping people uncover their true potential, right? Because we are stuck in this mindset a lot that we are a certain way or we're stuck in our situations, but we're not. We always have a choice.
That we can't make it, we can't do something, or because of, your circumstances. And like you said, 2020 actually changed a lot of people, because look at what's been happening, right? You've been literally reevaluating everything from who you are to where you're working to where you're going in life and why. What has been going on in your life up until 2020, right? So I'm not saying it worked for everybody, but like, I guess in our, situation, I guess I've been working on so many projects and I finally brought them to life because of 2020, because I was able to think for myself.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And what you're doing, cannabis, right? A lot of people, like when I was growing up, I didn't actually know anything about it. I don't know why, but I was like out of the loop. But like as I was growing up, and I think like when I was working at the company, I was exposed to it. And then I was like, and again, where I come from, and I'm Jewish, everybody always teaches us it's a bad thing. You're going to be like a pothead or whatever. Like people don't know. They think it's literally equivalent to drugs. But like you said, I mean, I don't have tolerance for it, to be honest. I'm just, I don't know why. Like if I'm going through some type of depression, I'll just go cry it out or sleep it off and that's it. Right? Or sometimes I just become besties with my depression. But that's the only way I know. But when I tried it, I did notice the effect, because sometimes to a point you just forget certain things. But again, I don't have tolerance for it. But I also understand that I met a lot of people because of anxiety. When you take it at the right time, a certain amount, or the way I wouldn't know much about it. That's your expertise. I know it helped.
Yeah. And just like you said, there is such a bad stigma around it. But when you understand the full picture of why, right? Why is because there is governmental control over it. They want to make sure it's profited off of, that it is demonized, right? Because 100 years ago, 150 years ago, people were growing this in their backyards and using it for all different types of purposes. And so to understand why it has been stigmatized so much will allow you to understand that a lot of it comes down to money, right? Money and power, unfortunately. And the thing that I will say though is, as we are discovering more and more about cannabis, I know like usually people think what you were speaking of, like, oh, you're going to become a pothead, you're going to become lazy, whatever it is. But it's not that, because there is CBD, and CBD is very widely and pretty well researched.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep.
That CBD.
It's actually used in a lot of different products, food products.
Yeah, with food products, with tinctures, with topicals, meaning like things that you put on top of your skin. And CBD doesn't have that psychoactive effect, meaning there's no, it doesn't affect the way that
no
you
side
think.
effect. Right.
Yeah, it affects you on the chemical level. So, you know, this plant medicine, there's so many opportunities for it, and there's so many things that it can help with. And
I know it cures like health problems. I think even cures me. I mean, remember we had a coworker and she used to have seizures. So her doctor actually prescribed cannabis in order for her to calm her nerves down. Because I don't know if you were there one time. She fainted. She had a seizure in the office.
Yeah, I was there. I do remember.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember if you were there at that time. But that kind of scared me, because I was like, well, I don't care at this point what you need to do. I'm like, just try anything. Because she's like, she does try everything, but it's not working, because when you're under stress, it happens. And that's when she was like, okay, you know what? At this point, let me just try cannabis, right? To not because if you're driving or if you're outside, imagine you do that next to your client. In that situation, why not?
Yeah. And you know, that's the thing, right? The thing is that it helps with seizures. It helps with epilepsy. It helps with rheumatoid arthritis. There are just, and I witness it, you know, like I witness people being able to use this as a medicine. And what is more natural than what the world is giving us, right? We drink tea, we drink coffee, we consume a lot of the things that natural nature provides for us. And so that's why I keep saying that if you think back to, if you want to fully understand why this plant is deemed as bad and that you will become a pothead, or that
because it helps, probably that's what they're trying to prevent it, because pharmaceutical companies are never going to allow it to be, you know, in the stores. They're not making money off of that, because like you said, if you're going through some type of all the problems come from stress. So when you're smoking it and your stress is out, right, then you know you don't have to go to the pharmaceutical companies, of course, depending on your situation, but at the same time you're going to lose a lot of clients. So that's one aspect of one way of looking at it.
Absolutely. Pharmaceuticals have a huge part in making sure that cannabis is not accessible or legal, you know, and that's just the truth about it. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate for the plant, because it's like, it's the most natural way to heal yourself. You know, I wouldn't use the word cure, because cure is like it's very black and white, but you know, to heal, to progress, to thrive, to live a better life, you know?
Right.
And that's just something that, at least I try to look at it on the bright side of things, that where we are right now, things are moving forward. A lot of people are accepting it now. A lot of people are trying now. And to be frank, there have been people, especially in the older generation, that have been smoking or whatever it is. And now they're more comfortable with coming out and say, well, you know, I've been smoking and I'm a CEO, I'm a high level executive, I'm this and that, right? It breaks that stereotype that you're a lazy pothead. And we just have to eliminate that idea, because if you think a cancer patient that's going through chemo that can gain an appetite is a pothead, that's just, those are two contradicting thoughts to me.
I know. I heard that it helps cancer patients as well.
Yeah.
But like, again, anything that, can you imagine, God forbid, being a cancer patient, going through so much pain and so many different, you know, things that you got to go for your body, right? Whatever it is, procedures, and just smoking something that has nothing to do with chemicals, something natural, to just for a second to forget about everything. You know, I'm all for it, 100%, if it's for those particular reasons as well. Or if listen, I'll be honest, I've tried smoking it. And I told myself, if I'm doing it like with my friends only, and that's it, right? So I used to like sit down with my friends in the group and like try a little bit. And it's just for that one a few minutes or in general, you start laughing and enjoying everything. And then you understand how it makes you feel generally. Just so much fun. You just forget about everything. But yeah, like I said, I have no tolerance for it, unfortunately. But when I tried it, I was so happy because for the first time I was like, oh my God, everybody has been scaring me my whole life about it. And it makes no sense. There's nothing wrong about it. You're not a pothead. I'm not a bad person, or I don't deserve to have my kids or whatever. Everybody, I know so many people who just do it on a regular basis. And I'm like, okay, great. Good for you. You know, It's just that everybody is so much in their bubble, so much in their comfort zone that they think like, oh, that's it. It's bad. You're not supposed to have it at all. But it's been around for a while.
For as long as time has been around, for as long as human existence has been around.
Exactly.
And what you said too, like, it's not just about smoking it, right? There's so many different ways of ingesting it now. Whether it's through a patch in your arm or,
I didn't know.
Yeah, there are many, many ways. Oils that you can put under your tongue, or ingestion like edibles, or putting it on your skin. Like, there's so many other ways to do it other than just smoking, right? For me, how I maintain my anxiety and my depression is I take a CBD tincture, which is an oil, under my tongue every single day. And that sets the tone to my day. And even if you do smoke it, I don't want to say it's just about forgetting, because your body is literally your body. I don't want to go too deep into the science of it, but your body, your Marina, your body, my body, everybody's body has receptors that are specifically created.
Oh, I know that. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yes.
To receive this. And our body naturally creates cannabinoids.
Exactly. I know that.
In response to stress. So it's like, so how I try to explain it to other people is that think of it as a supplement, right? Think about it as a vitamin D in the winter, or think of it as if you have anemia, think of it as an iron, right? It is supplementing our system. And when we think of it as a medicine, then we treat it so much differently, right? We don't think of it as like, oh, Marina, I don't want you to do it because like it's so bad for you, but literally it makes you relax. Like, so how can you say to me that it's bad? So
you're much calmer. I know it relaxes you a lot. You're much calmer.
Yeah.
But when you try, because I never tried the one under the tongue, like the liquid portion, how does that feel? Is that equivalent to, is it the same kind of reaction?
So I use CBD. So CBD doesn't have the psychoactive effect. So think of everything that you feel when you may have smoked cannabis, but just take away the psychoactive effect. So your body is still reacting the same way to it.
Is it more relaxed? Because
it's literally CBD and THC, which is THC is what impacts your mind. So CBD and THC are very, very similar in their chemical structure, but only by a slight difference. So if you consume CBD, you are getting all the benefits as if you were consuming THC. But with the two together is even better. So I love that, because something that I remind myself a lot, and I remind myself a lot with many things, but something that I remind myself is, I don't know if you know Jay Shetty. He is a pastor. He was a former monk. Like, he's a motivational speaker. Love him. And he said something that just really, really resonated with me. And he was just like, sometimes you just have to start, right? You just have to start. And if you care about it and if you're present, then it will teach you how it needs to evolve. So you, Marina, you have already started, right? Because if we don't start, we don't know where it's going to go. And
exactly. And I was just curious. I'm like, I'm just going for it.
Just go for it. Just go for it. But the biggest hurdle that will ever stand in front of us when we do want to go for it is fear.
Right.
It's fear, right? It's fear. And so we have to analyze if that fear is rational.
Right. Because fear is usually there because you don't know.
Exactly.
Right? It's because of the unknown. Because like when the pandemic happened, and also, you know, my marriage was finally over. I was happy because we both were not happy. But nonetheless, it's not like a walk in the park where you're like all of a sudden your life changes overnight, right? And then I was like, but that's exactly what we wanted. So why are we like stressed about it, right? But then I have small kids. I have, you know, the pandemic happened. My kids are at home with me. I have to have a job in order to have my kids have a babysitter here because during the pandemic, you couldn't take the kids anywhere because everybody was afraid to get COVID.
Right.
So then I mean, in my case, like I prayed and I said to the kids, you know what? I know there's a way out. God's going to help us. So let's not worry about it. And then I just sat down and started analyzing, like putting one step, you know, one foot on over the other, whatever, one step at a time. And I like today, I'm working on my second children's book. My first one is almost ready. It's almost going to be published. And I have another 6 to go. They're already ready. I just have to prepare them. Right. That's another channel. I'm doing all the children's stuff. I would have never done it had I never had a chance to just be at home. Like God kept everybody locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I have this channel because I was like, listen, what I did was an inspiration to me because everything was just a stepping stone. Everything that I had to juggle and everything that I had to face, you know, was a stepping stone because if you're not giving up, you keep on moving forward. That's how you know. You just can't stop. And I was always curious. Well, why should I stop? Thank God, like I can walk. I'm grateful to God. I can do so many things. My kids are safe. Everybody is well. Why should I stop?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are. Who
Yeah.
knew I was going to interview you about the cannabis? Maybe one day I'll be like, okay, you know what? I'll try it. Or you know what?
And a great introduction to it, Marina, is CBD.
Exactly.
Try CBD. Hit me up personally. I can help
Right.
you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But something that I noticed that you said is very powerful is that, right, you chose.
Mm-hmm.
You made a choice. And a lot of times we feel like we don't have a choice, right?
Exactly.
We don't, but there is always, like I try to drill it into everyone that you always have to have a choice. Even when you feel like you don't,
Mm-hmm.
you always have a choice. And usually you feel like you don't because out of fear.
Because of the not knowing. Because the only thing we know is 9 to 5. A woman has to be like this. You get married, you have children, you have the picket white fence or whatever the case is, right? But in today's day and age, everybody wants to have something of their own because even if you're married with children or whatever the case is, right? Want to run a business or whatever, you have to be content with yourself, which is very important, right? Like who knew one day you said right after college, you worked a little bit for a cannabis company and then through so many different obstacles or different people and different opportunities and different companies and so many different things, right? A lot had to happen and for you to come back to basically square one, like point A, right? But you don't know that until you go through all that. People are like, oh, you're making so many mistakes. I'm like, thank God. That means I know a lot.
Yeah.
Mistakes are those lessons that we need in order to be here. Today, I'm not afraid of anything. Like whatever it is, I'm going for it because I'm so excited because my fears, I overcame every single one of my fears. Literally. I have like the fears that you were born with or born into, or eventually they're drilled into you. Those are the ones that I feel like God puts into us or society that helps you. Once you overcome those fears, those are the questions. Let's just call them questions, not fears, right? Those are the questions that need answers. The only way you find out about it is when you sit down and when you just, you know what, take a moment. Sometimes, God forbid, like I have people who had like accidents and they weren't able to move for a while. And then they were like, well, that's when I was thinking. That's when I was forced to just stay in one spot and not do anything, right? That's the only time. Thank God we never had that. In my case, it was the pandemic. But also because my ex-husband, he finally decided to just call it quits. And that was the first step to my future life. All the roads started opening up. Because when we met, I was still married, and it was very hard. My kids were still little. You just don't know.
Yeah. And what I noticed you said is like going back to square one, right?
Mm-hmm.
When all of these things happen to us, whether it's pain, whether it's struggle, whether whatever it is, it's not square one that we're going back to. We're going to a diving board that's going to launch us into whatever it is that is going to be there for us. You know, we're not going backwards, we're going forwards, and we're discovering ourselves along the way. And Marina, what you said about having a partner really resonates with me, because I found who I was when I lost my partner, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not losing it in a way of death, but circumstantially, you know, for a long period of time in my life, like I tied my identity to my partner.
Yes.
You know, to a partner.
Right.
And, you know, I went through a period of questioning myself, like, how am I going to do this on my own? Or, you know, I just questioned everything I did. Like, if I were to fail, how would I find support?
Yep.
Or if I did something wrong, who's going to help me fix this? You know, like there are so many questions all the time. And when I was able to finally shed all of that and really be with myself and who I am, then I realized that's what I was missing, right? I was missing the fact that I can do this on my own.
Last piece of the puzzle.
What?
Last piece of the puzzle. To me, it was the relationship that kind of like broke me completely. Yeah. And that's when I realized, oh my God, I was holding on to the idea that I need that person in my life in order to keep growing. And that's the biggest mistake a person can do. But unfortunately, until it happens, you'll never be where you are today, because I never needed any one of them, especially the people that I particularly loved. I just was thankful and I was grateful for the certain people to be in my life, but neither one of them stood by my side and at least one time said, you know what, I'm proud of you. I believe in you. Or, you know, hold my hand. Because there was a time when I would ask the person I loved, just hold my hand, even if it's in your hand, so that so that I'm not going to be scared to just keep moving. And they don't understand it, because I knew I had to keep moving, but I was so like I didn't see a road in front of me. I had to make that road. I had to build that road. And I feel like nobody will understand until it's someone like us, because we have been there, letting go of someone that you're literally holding on to, thinking you're just going to die without them. It was probably the hardest thing I had to do, because when you're by yourself, you're like naked outside in a freezing cold weather, and you still have to somehow make it out of it. Have something on you or whatever the case is, right? Just keep walking. And little by little, you're like, wow, I didn't meet any one of them. You realize why they left, because they would have never helped you. They don't even have the capacity to understand what you needed. That's what they had to leave. And for you to let go, and then you're like, okay, now we're here. I can't even imagine my life having them in my life right now, because I'm completely, my whole vibration, I'm no longer this insecure, needy girl who needs a friend. I don't care if the world stops talking to me. I'm still here because I'm happy. I'm very content with who I am today, because I didn't block anybody, but I'm very happy with, I guess, just everything that I had to overcome in order to be who I am today, while being left completely alone, and nobody can understand that. So now you kind of have like that picture perfect in your mind, like what you want to do, right? Like your mind is clear about it. And there's so many other avenues that you can take from this going elsewhere, right?
And that's the thing too, right? When we learn to let go of what we think our life is supposed to be like, and just be okay in this moment of where we are, and not setting up that expectation up for us, then we will be so much happier, right? And
Yeah.
just like you were saying, like, oh, you're supposed to get married and have kids and have a house and whatever it is, right? That's not an ideal world for anyone.
Exactly.
And we shouldn't have to live up to that, right? And I think because we grew up in that, and I don't, for anyone who has a 9 to 5, who has, the love of their life, I don't, great for you. I'm so happy for you. I don't take any of that away from you, but a lot of women have lived in these steps that they think they're supposed to take, and then
I know so many of them,
and they realize that they're not fully happy with who they are. And so, when we take away that expectation of who we're supposed to be and just live in this moment of who we are now, then we're so much happier, right? Like I see it in you, I see it in myself, and not having that tied to a partner. And it's okay that if you tie it to a partner, but make sure that that is a healthy relationship that is sustaining and that you guys are growing together. And for me, that was an awakening that I was always in these relationships, but we didn't grow together because I didn't know how I needed to grow, right? I need to figure out how I need to grow. And like, it's funny because Marina, when you reached out and you were like, oh, you're like, you've always been like bright or whatever, but your energy has totally changed. Your aura has changed. Well, yeah, it has, because I decided that I wanted to change, right? Because I shed the things that weighed me down. So I decided. So like, whoever is listening to this, your audience, all the women that you are trying to inspire and empower, like shed what doesn't fulfill you, shed what doesn't make you happy, shed the fear that you think that you don't have a choice, and just go for it and be persistent. And just trust that the world and God and whatever higher being that you believe in, just trust that they have such a big plan for you, but you just have to take that first step.
Exactly. Very, very important. That's literally what I talk about with other girl, Erica, on my channel. We're like besties. We met randomly. And we always talk about it because she's been married twice. But like we always tell other women that it's very hard to be in a situation that you're in and constantly. I know so many women who know it's not perfect for them, but they still live in those type of situations. Those are the ones I really feel bad for, because they're constantly putting themselves down, suppressing their true inner beauty. Because that's what I used to tell myself, and I used to tell God, like, I know you didn't bring me into this world to just be somebody's, cleaning lady or babysitter. Like, I know there's more to women or more to my life, just period. Like, I know there's a lot more, and I felt that it was a lot more. So while you think like you're losing, because I'm Jewish, right? It's reputation. Oh my God, you're divorced. But I was like, I told my family, I'll take the reputation, but I'm going to keep my sanity. I'm going to change my children. I'm going to make a better life. I'm enjoying to come home right now. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else. I'm coming home. I'm enjoying that. When I used to work in that company, Richard Allen, I refused to go home. I just didn't want to go home. I was very depressed. And that was also very bad, because you're not happy, and then your kids are not happy, and your husband's not happy, and you're always depressed, and it's a very toxic environment, and you constantly keep like investing more into this pot of negativity, insults, whatever, right? But look at how happy you look. When I first looked at your pictures now and like before, and I was like, oh my God, look, yours always amazing. You always looked cute and always had your energy, you're always smiling and always bubbly and always like it was a lot of fun with you in general. But this, it speaks you. It's a different vibration. It's the kind of vibration that you only get when you find your true self. Like, you took a leap of faith, and I know for a fact, I'm not even going to ask you, you're no longer scared to keep going. Because even if you have questions about certain things that you haven't done before, company-wise, you're going to be like, hey, what else do I need to do in this and this situation? People are going to be like, oh, you need that. I'm like, cool. You're no longer afraid, because you already have everything on the table. right? Oh my God, that's so cute.
Yeah, no, thank you. I think a lot about how I got here too, right? Like I always practice gratitude on my Instagram every day.
Mhm.
I invite my followers to do the same because, right, gratitude grounds us and it reminds us, even through the good and the bad, there is always something to be grateful for. And
Right.
especially through the bad, there are
Absolutely.
always things to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
And, you know, through all of what I went through, you know, I realized that the person that I am, even before, right? Even before, I just loved people. I loved
Absolutely.
bringing energy. I love and so I'm at a place in my life where I'm finding that all these things in my life about my personality and who I am
Mhm.
and my experiences and whatever it is coming together.
It shaped who you are even better.
It's shaped who I am now, and being able to feel like I'm happy with who I am and I'm so grateful for all of these experiences that have brought me here allows me to not even think about like the future, Marina. I don't, to be honest,
Right.
but I am so content and okay with where I am now and
Exactly.
and that I instinctively and intuitively just trust that whatever happens tomorrow, whatever happens in the next 5 minutes will be okay. So I think it's just what you were saying before about like how scary it is, to start over, to end a relationship or a marriage or end your career at this company that you've been, whatever it is, right? Just try to remember that we always have a chance to start over, to start and to start over. And we can choose that now. We can choose that tomorrow. We can sort of plan and choose that next month, whatever it is. We have a choice and you can always start over. You can start over now at 30. You can start over at 50. You can even start over when you're 120, whatever it is, right? You always have a choice. And I truly believe that because, like, Marina, look, you chose.
You could be a victim or you can make the best of it. My marriage ended and I made the best of it. I didn't go cry. I'm a failure. The world is going to think low on me. I'm like, well, let them. But look, my life is still growing and evolving. That means I must have done something right. Because in our community, you're not allowed to get a divorce. You're not allowed. So, like I said, I'm a perfect example because we come from very heavy community, Muslims, Jewish girls, right? Christians, whatever. Everybody expects you because society only teaches you that, but people evolve. And I want people to understand that. Evolve. It's okay. Make that step. If it doesn't work out, figure out another way for it to work. Because when you're figuring it out, you learn and it's never going to be an issue again.
We are breaking all different types of molds,
Right.
culturally, like, you talked a lot about your divorce. I'm an Asian person,
Exactly.
that was supposed to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever it is. And I'm none of those things. I work in the cannabis industry. And at the end of the day, right, I stopped caring about what people think because guess what? Your happiness or what you think should be happiness is not my happiness. And my happiness,
exactly.
What you think about me does not pay for my bills. It does not provide me happiness. It does not bring joy to my life, whatever it is. It's hard. And I completely understand from the cultural aspect, the pressures, the community, all of that. But just like you said, we have to break out of it. We have to know that things are evolving.
But you are the first person in Asian community, I would say, or one of the few people, right, who's actually doing it as a business. I know a lot of Asians who are into this type of business. Everybody's doing it, but on the hush hush. You were like, I'm making it into a real thing. Right, because you're actually showing and explaining to people, not selling it on the side, but it's a real business because you're going to teach them, well, listen, this helps you from this. Like I said, remember, there's a lot of people who are going through health issues. It's not about making some big money or whatever. It's about helping someone who's in need because they just don't know, because it's never taught.
Right.
Like colleges never teach us how to know the financial aspect of life. But someone has to teach you, right?
Yeah. And when you step into that light, it is the most liberating feeling that you can ever experience. So
Exactly.
whoever's listening to this, step into that light, and whatever happens, trust that the universe or God or whoever will catch you.
Yeah, ask questions. I used to always say, I'm like, when I have a question, I just tell God, I don't have the answer for it, so just help me out. Literally anything. I don't know what to do. I've tried every corner. I tried every avenue. I don't know what to do in the situation. Help me out. Who else am I supposed to ask? Like, I can go call my sister or my mom or my dad or whoever, but I'm like, God knows better.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding. It happened. Like, I'm a single mother. Like, for God's sakes, what do you think? I have a rich daddy? I don't take anything from anybody. Everything I have, I do everything myself. I take care of everything by myself. But I talk to God and I tell God, listen, this is the situation. I've tried it. God, just help. And I take a deep breath because it stresses me out. And that's it. I just have him take it. Try it. Take that first step. Just for the heck, I would challenge you. Just do it. Because what I did, I challenged myself. I refused to just stay home and question myself for the rest of my life. What if? How my life would have been had I actually done it? Well, I did it. And look, I'm still here.
Whoever's listening to this, whatever you are fearing right now, just think about what that fear is and think about how to overcome it and just take that tiny step towards it.
Exactly.
And see how it can change you and can change your life.
Exactly. Give me all your information. I'm going to put all your social media and contact for people who want to contact Kristy for any question regarding cannabis.
Yeah. Cannabis or not, because for me, it's like the mindset is so important, right? No matter where you are in life, having a positive mindset and being able to understand that you can control your mindset is so important. So I have a cannabis program, but I also have just more of a life coaching program where I tell people, or I guide people through their journey of just striving for what they want in life and being who they truly want to be. So cannabis or not, I'm very open to, I send out an open invitation to anyone.
Perfect. If anybody is clueless in what they want to do, but they want a different life, contact Kristy. Right? And then we'll bring you to our show and we'll talk about your journey here, because that's incredible. We want to know, we care, and good luck to everybody. Kristy, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. One woman at a time, entrepreneur. Look, if it's a man, you're also welcome. I believe that everybody has an equal chance, right? But this is all about growth, evolve opportunity, and not giving up.
Absolutely.
Right? Life is a gift. Take it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Marina, for having me on your channel. And I'm so proud of you, and I love what you're doing. So
Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, babe. Take care, love. Bye.